was Agnikul, the space startup launching India's first single, fully 3D printed cryogenic rocket engine.
Growing Indian space tech startup Agnikul today announced the opening of its Rocket Factory 1. It is India's first ever rocket facility dedicated to 3D printed rocket engines. That's
भारत के आईटी सेक्टर का सामर्थ्य आज दुनिया देख रही है। वैसे ही आने वाले दिनों में भारत के स्पेस सेक्टर की ताकत नई ऊंचाई पर होगी।
Agnikul, a space tech startup incubated by IIT Madras Research Park, is all set to make smaller satellite launches easier.
The Indian space tech startup Agnikul Cosmos, which is incubated by IIT Madras, today announced that it has raised 200 crore rupees on $26.7 million in a Series B funding round.
Astronomy and space race are the two stuffs that excite me the most, and we are going to learn space race from the eminent founders from India, Mr. Srinath and Mr. Moin, who are the founder of Agnikul Cosmos. Welcome both of you.
Thank you for having us.
So we start by having your early life first of all, and we slowly move towards how Agnikul Cosmos formed, and we move towards what are all the challenges, what are all the updates regarding Agnibaan, and we finish towards how these entrepreneur things are working out for you.
Sure.
So we start. You started from Anna University, and he's also started from Anna University, Moin, if I'm not. So you start unga career FD start ஆச்சு, and how it is going now?
I think before Anna University there is a school period.
You can
start. I think I grew up as a space enthusiast. So
Okay.
Everyone in my family was into physics.
Okay.
So maybe from there it started. So, but it was very hard to actually do a course which will get you an opportunity in space, unless it is in ISRO or something like that. Which was again back in 2000s. This was not a very common thing. Today, space is a little more commonly spoken about. So that is where it was. So when it was time to do engineering, people advised me against doing anything in aerospace because job opportunities were not there.
Do you think now people are supporting doing anything in aerospace?
Much better. There
Much
are now
better.
institutes focusing only on aerospace and all, for example. We have the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology. Those things are not there in 2000, early 2000. Before 90s, it was completely only for a few, small group of people.
What about the job opportunity from aerospace? He mentioned there was no light on aerospace side before when he was learning. And what about now, sir?
Even when I was studying, I think we didn't have enough opportunities. So I wanted to be a sound engineer.
Okay.
I was studying. I don't think there were any colleges in Chennai at least giving that as a course.
Okay.
So I ended up in aeronautical engineering. So while studying at that point of time, I think the only place, as he said, was only either ISRO, that's ISRO, or DRDO, HAL. These three places were the only places where you could do something about aerospace related. Apart from that, not enough of aerospace companies were around itself. Right? At that point of time, I'm talking somewhere around 2011. Pretty sure, I think from 2006 to 2011, as far as at least I've seen that part, we've not had enough companies. So it was very clear. Padicha vela kadikadu. That part was you'll get companies, the placements all will come. They'll have this one word called core placements. Aeronautics and aerospace budget core placement. Generally, it is not the standard way to look at for aerospace department itself, aeronautics department itself.
Okay.
You'll get all the other places IT companies around. So I think today, there is a game-changing events happening. At this point of time, around some 15 to 20 active companies in space. We've seen a lot of foreign companies have opened shop here in India. So sector on the established side, this is not anymore the same old sector where you would only end up in either ISRO or DRD or HL. There are so many other companies, and works have also been defined, designing, manufacturing. A lot of things are actually happening. So, good time as an industry itself, it has blossomed in India. That's my approach.
Can we say it is before Agnikul and after Agnikul, like the opportunities have been opened?
Definitely, I would say rather than commenting on aeronautics, I'll say only on aerospace side. There, I think we've been the torchbearers in that industry itself, aerospace. I think after we opened, I think there were like 20 to 25 companies, as I said, that have started. A lot of other foreign aerospace companies have also come in. So I think that is a good statement to start.
I think we said policy itself was not there. So there was no clarity on what to do, how to do, and all that. Now that has changed completely. And more than, I think, pre and post Agnikul, I would say pre and post COVID actually, to be honest. When a policy came but around that time. The Atmanirbhar movement and all that. In that space, privatization got a bigger uplift. So I think we are in the clear
right position
category. So we had an early journey that was very different from what someone who's starting today will. But yeah, it has changed. Today it is a more accepted industry.
In India.
Outside it is all, I think a little earlier, maybe 10 years before itself, it became a more accepted industry. India, I think only in the last 2-3 years. Because now government is actually allowing you to do it. Very specifically. People have also started warming up with it.
So, can you throw some light on how Agnikul started? The starting stage of Agnikul.
Sure. It's a long story, but
long story short.
Actually. You should start. I think that's better.
There was one moment where, so I was in US doing something in finance and all, but I wanted to do something in space, like I told you before. Went to an event where because I was doing a lot of networking to understand what is in space, saw a guy come with a stroller, like, luggage that we take during travel. He opened it and he took a small satellite and kept it outside. And he said, no one is giving the satellite a ride to space.
In US?
So it felt like, it has become so approachable. Anyone is able to actually look at it, but they're not able to go to space. So that moments like that, I saw a few. Everyone was building satellites.
So you understood the market opportunity there.
Those are big words to say. It's very, very basic, naive. Also, you could say at that point, there is a lot of insight. That time it was like no one is supporting small satellites to go to space. Can we? So Moin and I used to play cricket together here. He was also in the middle of some career transitions. I was also wanting to go to do something in space. So we were generally chatting about why can't we build small rockets? Everyone is building only large rockets. This is how it started. We didn't start off as wanting to do this, build rockets or wanting to build them. It was more about there seems to be something interesting here. People are suffering. Why can't we help? In the process, we'll also do something interesting. Right? That is how it started. Now it has become a business model, pitch,
revenue model.
All those things are there. We didn't start we didn't set out to do it because we wanted to start a business. Actually, I don't think it's a good business to do if you're starting out as the reason you're in space is because you want to build a business now. It probably should be the last 5.
Can I say because of R&D it will be very difficult to penetrate into the market?
R&D. Look, see, when you're doing a business, you need to look for 2-3 things. What value? Who are you adding value to? Are you able to make more money than what you spend? When there is space involved, it gets a little harder to put numbers to it. So that is why it's a little difficult. So that's why R&D is not the reason. Generally itself, I'm saying it's a little difficult to find, okay, these are my customers. This is how much I will spend. This is how much I will make. This is my bottom line. All those things are a little harder in space. R&D comes because you're doing something new. So I would say any hard deep tech startup, that's the jargon today, right? That will do R&D. Space law, why is it hard? It's hard because these metrics, to come up with it, you need a lot of insight. You need to really understand what's going on. Because you can't come out and say, this guy is going to get benefited, this much money I spent, this much I will take out. For us, it took us a while to formulate that properly.
Okay.
Early days, it was like, when I started, we were actually thinking about doing a lot of aspects in space. It's not only just, do this one part or that part. But over a period of years,
You explore a lot of opportunities and you end up doing in small satellite launch.
Yeah, you could say that. More like, other than small satellite, a lot of other things also were in plan.
Okay.
So the potential of space is not fully understood by everybody yet. There is so much more to explore. There is so much that we can do down there. We just know a few modes of it. All we had to come up with numbers. We had to convince people. We had to understand what those numbers meant first of all. I think R&D is on the ground side of it. Call it deep tech, R&D. There's so many jargons that in the you can call it as. But I think what we took time is to understand the potential of what and all in the space you can do. So it wasn't only about building the launch vehicle. So launch vehicle was the first step for us.
Initial step.
First step to connect to space. From Earth, you are supposed to go and reach the space. First in this step, that we wanted to do.
So you have bigger plans than that.
First, if you establish that route properly, then I think you open up space to explore in all different ways. There's so many things that you can talk about. Now, to 2017, 2016, this word was the buzzword, asteroid mining.
Okay.
சொல்றதுன்னா பேசிக்கா ஒரு ஆஸ்ட்ராய்டை போயிட்டு அங்க மைன் பண்ணி மினரல்ஸ் எடுத்துட்டு வரது was the most important buzzword in 2017. Okay. There was a country called Luxembourg who was actually என்ன சொல்றது புஷ் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாங்க இதுக்கெல்லாம். So there were a lot of opportunities for asteroid mining per se. அதுக்கு so we அந்த opportunities எல்லாம் பார்க்கணும்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் போகணும். That should be in our limit. That should be in our control. I think that's where we clearly understood that, okay, if you need to explore space, we need this first step within our control. Seri, adliye study pante pola and paakumbodhu, we found all of the problems that were down there. So customer oda pain point irukum, market oda eppadi standard, what is the actual, how does the market treat the customer first purinjukku. How is the customer feeling about the market? Then I think we came out with something saying that, okay, எங்களுக்கு தெரியும் electronics எல்லாம் குறையிறது, satellites இது கேட்டு you might have heard this in our pitch that the satellites are getting smaller but rockets aren't. But ஏன் அப்படி ஆயிட்டு இருந்துச்சுன்னா first we started decoding that part. Once we started decoding, we understood that, okay, today it is controlled by the rocket. The customer has literally no voice. So basically they were almost like lift to so in plain words, right? They were just at the mercy of the rocket vehicles or the launch vehicles of where the satellites had to go. Apart from that first person who was booking that mission, who was going, rest all were in that same zone. So then the question was like, ஒரு பஸ்ல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஏறவங்களுக்கு மட்டும் தான் மரியாதை. I think we have this habit, at least I would say, like both of us, we like to trivialize it to understand the concept more better rather than to look at the perspective of it. To understand the concept better, I think we do that a lot. I think as we were trying to tell that problem statement more to ourselves, we understood that this is how a customer would actually be feeling. So we started deciding to build a vehicle that will address the customer needs. So that's how I think we came up with a flexible configuration, configurability.
Okay. So why the name Agnikul Cosmos? First question. And why it is green themed?
Agnikul is Gurukul derived. Place Gurukul for Agni. So we are discussing, wanted to have it as something where it will be, that connects with that learning part. So place where you learn to use fire. And if you look at building anything, transportation, you are using energy, fire. So that was the core idea. So basically Agnikul is a Gurukul for learning about fire.
Fire.
That was a poor idea.
Hmm.
Cosmos is its own story, but yeah, we're going to space. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah. Green is because we always thought we are among the few people who are actually consciously keeping in mind that we are green in our way of getting to space.
Hmm.
Right from a big vehicle, if you're putting a small satellite, you're wasting space. They wastage starts. We use a very clean propellant combination, kerosene and oxygen. So it's not a toxic.
Semi-cryogenic.
Semi-cryogenic. It's not toxic. So all of those reasons. That green angle is there. We're always having
Sustainability angle.
Sustainability is more like, can we hurt the environment lesser as we do what we want to do.
Okay.
I think,
That is the reason. Okay. So we go to the finance and funding side. So you have started with 50 lakhs, if I'm not wrong, from both of you. And how you convinced your investors to invest in your idea?
first investor பொறுத்து வீட்டில் எப்படி சொன்னாங்க bigger convincing factor. Correct. I think, see, you're right. I think one of the things that we had was the experience of working somewhere else already. I think somewhere in the
You have a different background and he has a bit different background.
So we'll talk about that.
R&D பண்ணும் because you need machines, labs and all that. ஒரு academic institution partner வேணும்னு we realized. So we reached out to so many ideas. We used to get on calls. நான் இப்போ LA வாசன் main channel call people, talk to them, see whether they will be interested in allowing you into their labs, their projects.
Cold calls. All cold.
Mostly cold calls. Through one level referral. A lot of feedback we also used to get. Yeah, why are you wasting your life like this?
Rejection.
Constant rejection. 70-80 people rejected, but one person who actually wanted to take it forward happened to be from Chennai itself. We both are from Chennai. So
rendu perum mention.
Yeah. So it just started like that. Moin actually was in Chennai. He went for a meeting. I was joining on video.
Okay.
He has a story about that usually.
Can we have it?
Around 70 professors கிட்ட பேச பண்ணுங்க. I think generally when the meeting will end in 5 minutes, I think after they listen to us everything, they will advise us about how we should spend our time, how we should actually do our lives. So this meeting was in IIT Madras, NCCI, Professor Satya. I had my cousins with me. So they came, I said, I'm just going to go for 5 minutes. It's another meeting that will be there. It won't take more than 5 minutes. I'm pretty sure he'll also tell the same thing. What was confidence in this? But when I went in there, he joined on the video call. We were speaking. The conversation went for 2 hours.
Okay.
Generally 5 minutes la mudikum. At the end of the meeting, there were many questions that we came out of a meeting.
That first pitch, can we say it successful first pitch?
We could call that as a successful first pitch. Yes. I think, because I think the reciprocation of any type of a stakeholder coming in is, I think we'll call it in that way. So, over the 2 hours space mode, I think at the end of the meeting, there were a lot of questions that had to be done. Deliverables were down there, which was never so far experienced. When I came out, my cousins said, like, 5 minutes are over. But that was the starting point of it.
Okay.
And then I think Professor Satya, he has some background with ISRO as well. I think he connected us with one more person. I think Mr. R.V. Perumal. And I think அந்த மீட்டிங் தான் எங்களுக்கு வந்து எப்படி சொல்றது ஃபுல் ஆன் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பிச் வந்து we used to consider. ஏன்னா அவர் வந்து ஒரு இஸ்ரோ சயின்டிஸ்ட். Within ISRO lot of people are the directors இருக்காங்க, chairman இருக்காங்க. ஆனா vehicles கட்டுறது, how many vehicles has ISRO built? You will see around some 4 or 5. Out of that, from the scratch, one person was the first project director. That was Mr. R.V. Perumal. To him, we are going and pitching that we also want to build a launch vehicle.
Okay.
So imagine this statement, right? So you are pitching to a rocket scientist about building a rocket, not knowing enough about the rockets, neither being a scientist about it. That is the equation. அது எப்படி பண்ணணும் தெரியல actually. I don't know what was running in our heads. Just wanted to do it.
போய் pitch பண்ணுவோம், like if it is successful na okay, if not na பாத்துக்கலாம், next try கொடுத்துக்கலாம்.
We should.
It was like constant. There's a very interesting opportunity. It's coming through the professor who was also interested in this.
So என்ன feedback வந்தது sir, like we build. Just we build.
He said we will build.
Okay.
Go build up. He also suggested a few things on what to do. But it started, it was not like for him, I think it is actually it's like a toy. The kind of rockets he has built.
The enthusiasm kind of.
From the size.
And that size.
ISRO's rockets, we are still in a smaller size. Scale wise, it's a small rocket. So I think for him it was like, yeah, this can be done. For us, it was the biggest, I would say, one of the life-changing moments. But for him, it would have been like, okay, this rocket can be done, sort of a thing.
Okay.
So, man, he was on the.
So from there, how you have like started pitching to investors? Okay.
Some of the notable people would be Anand Mahindra. He is also invested.
ஒரு 1.5 நிமிஷத்துல I need a pitch from you. இப்போ நான் வந்து இன்வெஸ்டர் மாதிரி, like you guys are going to pitch to me, you are going to raise funds from me.
You figured out the problem, you have the answer for everything, you've done a good detailed study. That's not how I think investors at least think about it. Early stage investors don't think in that fashion. It's because early stage naale the risk is higher. Everybody knows this, so it's a bet. Right? What are these people betting on is altogether a different game. I don't know if deck actually makes the impact down there. As far as at least I've seen also people sleep in the pitches. That Srinath would be like
sleep in pitches.
If you ask us how are we different from SpaceX or how are we different from Skyroot, I think we're different from both those companies.